Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are tearing down the IELTS listening section, and we're pulling our strategies straight from the official preparation manual. Look, if you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by the speed, the varying accents, or just the sheer pressure of the listening test, you are exactly in the right place. We are shifting your mindset today, from panic to absolute power. We're going to give you the exact tools you need to completely take control of this test.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The official manual states something that honestly fundamentally shifts how we need to approach this. It says the IELTS listening section isn't just testing if you understand English, it's testing if you can follow conversations under time pressure. It is so easy to stress out about having perfect native-level fluency, but honestly, that's a trap. The test makers are actually measuring your mental endurance and your ability to deploy a very specific strategy while the clock is ticking. Understanding that fact alone, that should take a massive weight off your shoulders.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Focus over fluency. 2. The test format. 3. Key listening strategies. 4. Mastering transfer time. And finally, 5. Your daily practice routine. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Focus over fluency. It's time for a mindset shift.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that a lot of people assume just binge-watching Netflix makes them test-ready. But passive listening is a whole different ballgame from the active endurance this test actually demands. The manual highlights exactly where things usually go wrong. Maybe it's a sudden accent change mid-conversation, or, a speaker stating a fact and then immediately correcting themselves. If your focus drops for even a split second, boom, your answer's gone. It really is a test of mental endurance just as much as it's a test of language.
Moving on to Section 2, the test format. You've got to know your battlefield. Before you step into the arena, you absolutely need to know what you're facing. 40. That is your magic number today. You are going to face exactly 40 questions packed into roughly 30 minutes of continuous audio. And here is the real kicker. The audio is played once. Only once. There is no pause button, and there are absolutely no repeats. After you survive that intense 30-minute sprint, you do get exactly 10 minutes of transfer time to move your answers over to the official sheet.
Now, those 40 questions are divided into 4 distinct sections, and they deliberately progress in difficulty. Section 1 kind of eases you in with an everyday survival conversation. Think 2 people booking a hotel room. By Section 2, you're listening to a monologue, like maybe a tour guide giving instructions. Section 3, that introduces the chaos of 3 or 4 people talking over each other in an academic setting. And finally, by Section 4, you're basically clinging on for dear life during a dense, unbroken academic monologue or lecture. You really have to pace your mental energy for this progression.
Within those 4 sections, you're going to be hit with a bunch of diverse question formats. We're talking labeling maps, matching details, completing tables, the whole shebang. The manual stresses that while each of these requires a slightly different approach, they actually all rely on one core skill. You're hunting for keywords and patterns, rather than exhausting your brain trying to perfectly translate every single word you hear.
All right, Section 3. Key listening strategies. Time to open up the tactical playbook.
Since we literally can't pause the audio, and we definitely can't catch every single word, what weapons do we actually have to get a high score? Well, the absolutely most critical weapon in your arsenal is anticipation. Before the audio for a section even begins, the test gives you about 30 seconds to look at the upcoming questions. You have to use this time ruthlessly. For example, if you see a sentence completion question that says, "The meeting will take place on blank," you automatically know, okay, I'm listening for a day or a date. When the audio finally plays and you hear, "Let's meet next Thursday," your brain is already primed and waiting to catch it. It's like a cheat code.
And this brilliantly illustrates the concept of signal phrases. IELTS conversations almost always follow very predictable patterns. You do not need to comprehend the entire conversational flow. You just need to listen for the signposts. If someone says, "Let's confirm the address," your pen should be hovering, completely ready for a number and street name. If you hear someone say, "Well, that's quite expensive," you can immediately expect the next sentence to introduce a cheaper alternative.
Now, you have to beware of the exact match trap. The examiners absolutely love to test your ability to recognize rephrased ideas. If you're staring at the test paper just blindly waiting to hear the exact words "price of the ticket," you are probably going to miss the answer entirely. Why? Because the speaker in the audio will actually say something like, "It costs around £25. You have to train your ear for paraphrasing, not just exact matching.
So the crucial point here is this: you will inevitably miss something. Even the absolute highest scorers do. The manual gives empathetic but very firm advice. If you miss a question, do not freeze. And whatever you do, do not try to replay the audio in your head while the tape keeps running in real life. If you do that, you'll cause a domino effect and you'll miss the next 3 questions too. Move on immediately. And at the end, always guess. There is literally 0 penalty for a wrong answer on the IELTS. Leave nothing blank.
Section 4. Mastering Transfer Time. The 10 Minutes to Success.
Okay, so you've survived the 30 minutes of audio, but listen, all that brilliant listening means absolutely nothing if you mess up this final step. You get 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the official answer sheet, and these are your absolute non-negotiable rules. First, spelling completely counts. So remember, accommodation has 2 C's and 2 M's. Second, write your answers in clear block capitals. The manual notes this is just the safer bet. It completely removes the risk of losing points simply because the examiner couldn't read your handwriting. And third, methodically double-check that your answers are actually going into the correct numbered boxes. Misaligning them because you're rushing is a tragic but very common error. To really master this section, the manual offers this fantastic troubleshooting matrix for the most common challenges. Do you find yourself losing focus halfway through? Fix that by practicing summarizing long audio clips every 2 minutes. Are you confusing similar words? That's likely an accent issue, so you need to train your ear with British, Australian, and Canadian accents specifically. Keep missing the S on plural words? Train your ear to catch the surrounding grammar clues. And if trying to write and listen at the exact same time splits your attention too much, just use short forms or symbols in the test booklet, and then write the full word during the 10-minute transfer time.
Finally, Section 5, Daily Practice Routine. Let's build the habit.
Knowing the strategy is one thing, right? But applying it as an automatic reflex takes consistent, targeted practice. Here's how to build a highly achievable 15 to 30-minute daily habit. First, listen to English daily. We're talking podcasts like BBC Learning English, TED Talks, or even documentaries. Second, practice actively by physically writing down keywords as you listen. Third, say those phrases out loud to really lock in the pronunciation. Fourth, replay the audio and check what you missed. And finally, do a full, timed IELTS listening practice test just once a week. Consistency sharpens the ear so much better than frantic cramming the night before.
Whenever you sit down for a practice session, run through this targeted mini warm-up. Look at the question first. Predict the answer type. Ask yourself, is it a name, a place, a reason? Then, play the audio once without hitting pause, just like in the real test. Write down what you think you heard, even if you're totally unsure. Then, here is the most important step. Compare your guess against the actual transcript. Seeing those subtle differences between what was spoken and what you actually heard, that is exactly how you truly upgrade your ear.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a direct question straight from the manual. What distracts you most during listening tasks? Is it the speaker's accent? Is it your own internal panic? Or maybe just a fleeting loss of focus? I want you to pinpoint your absolute greatest enemy right now. Attack it with the strategies we've built today and watch your biggest weakness transform into your highest score. Thanks so much for joining the explainer, and we will see you next time.